So I feel like this is something that needs to be cleared up. So I was doing a reaction video to Ocean View yesterday on my channel, or whenever you're watching this, and people kept on telling me, and I keep on getting this a lot, and I keep on hearing this in the community, why does it bother you about the reused content? Or, this game does it, so why does it matter for this game? So I'm going to discuss reused content in Sonic games, and why it shouldn't be a thing, and to explain the difference between what Team Sonic Racing is doing, what the other games are doing, and just explain all of this stuff and my issue with it. So let's start. So let's go number one. People compare Team Sonic Racing to Mario Kart in terms of its reused levels. Now, the difference between Team Sonic Racing's reused levels and Mario Kart's reused levels is that Mario Kart usually adds on top of the levels. They'll usually try and incorporate the new mechanic that is specific to that game into these racetracks. They'll update the looks and graphics of the racetracks, and they'll feel very new. They'll even update the music as well. Team Sonic Racing is also doing that, so that's pretty good on their end. But Mario Kart will also do that and just make the tracks super overhauled and different. Team Sonic Racing, on the other hand, isn't really doing that. It's taking the exact same racetracks, except of adding stuff to it. It's actually stripping things down, like the transform mechanic. That won't be there anymore, since that is not a mechanic in Team Sonic Racing. That was only in Sonic and Racing, Sega All-Stars Racing, All-Stars Transformed. So that's the difference there. The another difference with that is that Mario Kart, on top of its retro courses, also has its 16 brand new courses that are each different in design. They all have different environments, different gimmicks to mess with, while with Sonic the Hedgehog, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. We don't know that for a fact yet with Team Sonic Racing, but we know that there are only 7 different areas with 3 racetracks per area, making a total of 21 racetracks. So there's only going to be 7 different areas. We could still technically get different gimmicks per area, but each area, I imagine, is going to feel quite similar. We've seen it before with Sands Road and Boo's House. They look quite similar in aesthetics, but they do have different music, but they're still the same area, whereas Mario Kart has more uniqueness and more diversity to make each racetrack feel more different than the last. If Team Sonic Racing did that, I'd be fine with it, and in fact, a game before it did do this, and that's called Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. That in fact had 4 racetracks taken from the past game, except the game also had 17 unique race courses on top of it. And by unique, I mean each track was completely different to each other, different series, completely different aesthetics, different music, and the tracks on top of that had the transform mechanic of the stages themselves. They would literally change shape. Things, part of the track would break off mid-race, and different laps would have different routes to go through. It was really dynamic, really, like, it felt really involved, really cool, and I'm really surprised no other race game has really tried to attempt this as much as that game did. But Team Sonic Racing doesn't do that. 3 laps, all the same, and that's that. Mario Kart is also very similar to that, but Mario Kart also has the racetracks where it's 1 lap and it's all one massive marathon. I think that's really cool, but Team Sonic Racing does not have that. So that's the other difference, and that's the difference between that in terms of racetracks. But people come and tell me, but TWIP, Sonic Forces had so much reused stuff. Did it though? Did it though? Let's discuss that. Sonic Forces, sure, it had reused themes. It had reused themes to the levels. It had Green Hill Zone, it had Chemical Plant, the Death Egg, but did it have literal reused levels? No, it didn't. Every level in that game was at least unique. Sure, the classic Sonic levels literally copied level design cues from its games, but the actual levels themselves were unique in level design. The difference between that and Team Sonic Racing is that Team Sonic Racing is taking the exact level design from its previous games and just lumping it into this and making it worse with Ocean View, since there's no transform mechanic. That's the difference right there. So it's not this game gets away with it and Team Sonic Racing doesn't. It's that it's not as bad, basically. If Sonic Forces, for example, the classic Sonic levels was literally the classic Sonic levels, Green Hill Zone was literally Green Hill Zone Act 1 from Sonic 1, then yes, it would be the same thing. And guess what? A game did do that back in 2011 called Sonic Generations. For the classic levels in Sonic Generations and the Rush levels, they were taken directly from their older games. The level design was the exact same as their counterparts. The Green Hill Zone was the exact same as Green Hill Zone Act 1. Casino Night was the exact same as Casino Night Act 1. Mushroom Hill was the exact same. Water Palace, I'm pretty sure, was the exact same. It's called, I can't remember. How can I not remember this? Tropical Resort is the same as Tropical Resort from Sonic Colors. So they all copy each other. And that was due because it was a handheld game. It was probably being made under a way shorter time limit. So yeah, rushed-ish. That's what I would see it as. I would see it as rushed. And that is what I see with Team Sonic Racing. I don't know what else it could be. Why else would they want to take the exact layout of the track and just lump it in to this game? Seems to me like they're running out of time, which is scaring me. And I don't have anything against the developers. In fact, Sumo Digital are really nice people. I see their passion, and that's why I get so disappointed. That's why I get so mad and angry. Because I can see Sumo Digital's passion. I've met them in person. They're really cool people, and I can see that they're really trying with this game. They're really trying to make something brand new and fresh. But then adding this stuff is not brand new and fresh. It's the same old thing. And sure, you're telling me it's only 2 racetracks, but who's to say there isn't more? And I know this is going off of assumptions now. If it's only these 2, and that's it, I will still be quite annoyed, but fine, it won't be the end of the world, no chance. But I know, I can sense that the 3rd act of Seaside Hill is going to be another rip from another game, so that'll be an entire 6th or 7th of an area being reused. That's a bit of a problem to me. I think that's a bit of a problem. I don't think that is creative at all whatsoever. It doesn't want to make me go out and buy a new game. But my big worry right here is that another area, one more area, will be another reused area. And I'm scared it's going to be Bingo Highway. I could be wrong on that though. In fact, this is entire speculation from here. So it's fair enough to call me out at this part, because this is just me being worried and concerned for the game. However, I still stand by my point with Ocean View. Definitely not, it should not be there. Fact, it just should not be there, because why would I want to play a worse version? Whereas someone actually did point out a argument against this, which I will agree with somewhat. With Team Sonic Racing, you have the different abilities of the different characters. Knuckles can like destroy stuff, Tails can drive on grass, and Sonic is like super fast. Well, you could incorporate them into these levels. So those massive rolling stones on Ocean View, Knuckles could potentially destroy them. I could see that being a mechanic. That would be cool. Tails can drive on the grass and Sonic can do something, I guess. That's okay, but I just do not think that matches up to the grand scale of Ocean View from Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, especially since that game seems very recent. It was Sumo Digital's last racing game, and playing it on PC, the graphics far outmatch Team Sonic Racing in my opinion. That it's due to the art direction. I think it's just a lot more cleaner, a lot more detailed, and it still runs at 60 FPS like Team Sonic Racing does. Now, this doesn't mean I hate the game. People keep on saying, ooh, why do you hate Team Sonic Racing so much? I do not. I do not hate Team Sonic Racing. I think it is a very fun game. In fact, I feel like I'm one of the only people still rooting for this game. But the moment I had something negative to say about it, I'm suddenly the worst person on the planet. That is not right. I criticize things because I care about them. Do I care about Team Sonic Racing? Yes! I care immensely about this game and the success of this game and the reputation that this game will have once it's released. What's the reputation of Sonic Forces? Meh. It's a meh game. What will the reputation of this game be if it carries on reusing stuff we've seen before? It won't be as unique as it could have been. And that is an issue. Sonic Mania, for example, a lot of reviews from critics stated that they didn't like the fact that there were so many reused zones in the game and they wanted something more unique. That's what this game is too. This game should be more unique and have more unique zones. But I digress. If it's only Seaside Hill, fine. I'm still annoyed, but fine. Have that there. But if I see one more zone like Sky Sanctuary or Starlight Carnival or the Egg Hangar, or Bingo Highway, if I see any of them and they are the returning racetracks from the past game, I am so out. I cannot support the game if that happens, because if they make the whole 3 areas thing again, that's 2/7 of the whole game completely and utterly reused content, and that does not sit well with me whatsoever. That disappoints me immensely, because I know they can do so much better. They've done so much better before, and yet it is a new team of Sumo Digital people, and I do have faith in them, because what I've played was very fun. I really like the team racing mechanics, but if they keep on reusing this stuff, I just can't support that. I really can't. I can't support things like that. It's why I wasn't supportive of Sonic Forces, because I didn't appreciate the fact that we're revisiting old levels again. I was supportive of Sonic Mania because they paid off with absolutely phenomenal level design. Same with Generations. But I can't do it for this one, because in my honest opinion, this game doesn't have amazing level design. It has level design that I understand why it's like that. The wide tracks are to accommodate for the amount of races, and also the mechanics like that slipstream-like mechanic. I think it's called the skin boost. That, I can understand that, but the level design isn't exactly like blowing me away like Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. I feel that game was just beyond. It was ahead of its time. I think it still is. No racing game has matched up to the scale of the racetracks in that game, in my opinion. But I better end it there. That is the difference between reusing content from games like Sonic Forces versus reusing content with Team Sonic Racing. Team Sonic Racing is literally reusing racetracks. Sonic Forces and Generations just reused the level themes and still made unique levels out of them. They're still both not my favorite. I would rather have none of that and everything be totally original, but if they have to reuse something, there they go. That's what they can reuse. Just them, because people have been giving me so much flack just for having criticism. Guys, I care about Team Sonic Racing. Guys, I don't hate the developers, I don't hate anyone, I think they're doing a good job, I do have my faith in them, but I do have criticisms with things. I can't just happily accept everything they throw at me. I wouldn't be a real fan if I just didn't have flaws with something. It's recognizing those flaws, which is what makes you a true fan, in my opinion. If you cannot recognize the flaw of your favorite things, what's the point in even following them? I'm trying to think of anything I can add to this before uploading this. I don't think I can. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you agree with me, or do you think I'm stupid, like a lot of you do? Like a lot of you do. But thank you all for watching, my dudes, and peace out.